Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Paradoxic, and welcome back to The Walking Dead. This time we are on episode 20 of season 10. Last time we were following the adventures of Gabe and Aaron while they were scavenging, going through Maggie's map of remaining kind of spots for food and resources and stuff like that, and they found nothing. They found nothing except places that were either destroyed and full of dead, or just places that had already been ransacked, or just like a lot of dead bodies, a lot of dead skeletons and corpses and walkers and stuff like that. And then they came across one place that wasn't actually on the map, a warehouse with one boar, which they happily cooked and ate of their own accord, and some whiskey that they also opened up and drank of their own accord. And then the next day, they actually they slept into the night, and they found the owner Maze the next day actually, who he was a character. He was definitely a character. He was angry at them for one thing, for having actually broke into his place and then stolen his food and drunken his whiskey and everything. But then beyond that, he was also like extremely like a pessimistic, like kind of near psychopath. He made them play Russian roulette and then insisted that there were no good people left in the world and that they were no different, and made them choose between killing themselves and killing each other and everything. So he was like that, and then eventually Gabe and Aaron managed to actually bring him down from that bring him up from that rather low horse. And then, since he had actually, met Aaron the night before and actually knocked him out and stolen his arm, Gabe then took that arm into his own hands and literally bashed him in the face. So he killed Maze off anyway. He killed Maze. And yeah, and then Maze had told them a story about how he had actually he had killed his brother and his brother's family after because his brother stole his food in the middle of the night, and then tried to attack him with a knife and everything. But then it was revealed that he had actually been keeping the family hostage in the roof of the ceiling, the upper level of the warehouse. And his brother was alive. His brother was still alive and driven into madness and depression after having watched his own family die. So then, as soon as he was released by Aaron and Gabe, he just killed himself. So no one was left alive. No one was left alive in that story except for Gabe and Aaron. So very, very sad story, and also like a very, very kind of like harsh reality check, or a harsh reality check, I feel, from like how some people completely fail to adapt in like to the apocalypse, or how they adapt in all the wrong ways and stuff, and how they change. So it was an interesting story in that sense, and it was a great continuation of like Gabe and Aaron's kind of dynamic and how their friendship has kind of evolved over the past few seasons. So that was fun. But yeah, I think towards the end they actually found like a water tower. So curious to see how that goes. But they actually did find like one place that I think they actually said that was on the map. So it's like one more, like just like Gabe kept pushing Aaron to search one more spot and one more spot, and each spot they found nothing, and they'd been like looking for 2 weeks, so they were starting to miss their families and everything. So yeah, it was a fun episode. It was a very fun episode. So I'm curious to see how that journey goes on into season 11. This episode, I've actually heard that this one actually will feature the Commonwealth. This one actually will take us back to Princess and Eugene and Ezekiel and Yumiko and everything. So I did not think we'd get. I think because Commonwealth, given how they kind of ended the last season, or at least like ended the main portion of the last season, it definitely feels like that's like a story that they might wait until, or at least it definitely felt like that was a story they might wait until season 11 to explore. But I mean, it's a bonus episode, so it might not show us much, just give us like a very brief kind of glimpse. And and I think these episodes so far have felt pretty self-contained. So I think, again, like we won't see everything, or like we won't see their actual city or how they live, but we'll just kind of see who they are and how they treat Ezekiel and the others, and exactly what they do. And hopefully we get Stephanie. Hopefully, I think Stephanie is also suitable character material for a kind of if we got Leah for Daryl, then I'm pretty sure we can get Stephanie for Eugene. That like that feels like pretty kind of appropriate material for a self-contained episode. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. But either way, I am looking forward to seeing what happens next. So Gabe and Aaron are now going to be looking at a water tower to see if they can get any. I don't know what you can get I don't know what you can get at a water tower besides from water, and even if that's going to be like fresh water or drinkable water, I don't know. But either way, we'll see them again in season 11. But on to episode 20, we can see how Ezekiel and the others are doing in the hands of the Commonwealth, and see just how villainous they are, see exactly how evil they might be, or like how like antagonistic they might be and stuff. So Yeah, on to episode 20 of The Walking Dead. So this, as always, will be the highlight reel of reactions, just the kind of fun bits and the best bits and everything. But if you guys want to catch my reaction to the entire episode unedited in its kind of full length version and everything, that will be over on Patreon, so you can catch that reaction over there. Will be just as much fun. But yeah, on to episode 20, The Walking Dead. Let's go. Oh! No, okay, no. Oh, did she? Oh, crap. Did she grab it? Did she get what she was going for? Oh, god damn it. Oh, Yumiko. Separate them all. Wow, you're gonna keep them locked up separately too. That is okay. Oh, that's gonna be traumatic. Oh, jeez. Wow. Okay. Oh, tell me Princess isn't claustrophobic. That is not gonna help in this situation. Being alone in a wooden cage. That won't help. That won't help.
Augusta, Austin, Baton Rouge, Bismarck, Boise, Boston, Concord, Denver, Des Moines.
Yeah, these are different cities, right?
Harrisburg.
Because I'm pretty sure Denver is a city and not like, yeah, I think, yeah.
I didn't know that one.
Yeah, my American geography is not the best. No. Oh, just a little bit. Oh, did she cut herself? Splinter. Oh, God, those are the worst.
Princess, what are you doing?
Oh, Yumika's on the other side. Yeah, they're next door.
Is that you?
They're right next door to each other.
You sound a little groggy. Did you hit your head?
Well, they hit her in the head.
I'll be fine.
That's a yes, isn't it? I can't just sit here while you're hurt.
You can. I need you to.
Yumiko, let me try to.
No, just do what they say.
Yumiko?
I'm here.
Good.
It would be a crazy twist if she's actually imagining Yumiko responding to her. Like maybe her own coping mechanism is actually pretending that people are talking back to
my
her.
hair, which totally changed my life.
Yeah, understandable. It looks great. It looks
I wonder
fabulous.
where she is now.
Yeah.
It got infected again, and swelled up like a birthday balloon.
Oh.
Oozing this gross
Ah,
pus that made me feel like
okay,
a swamp monster.
Hmm.
He smacked me hard.
Oh. An abusive stepfather.
Please don't send me out to the garage to eat by myself. So my mom said, then don't eat.
Wow. So both parents were abusive. Has she had anyone in her life who has actually loved her or given her the respect she deserves? Besides from that friend who taught her how to dye her hair. How long are they going to keep them in there for? Surely it was like just like a night thing. They have like a leader or something they want them to talk to? Do they have a leader? Or is it some other kind of state? Is that a secret door? A way out? That's a way. No way is it this easy. No way is it this easy.
Good character is evident, which can't be an anomaly among her people.
Are we even sure these are her people?
You're betting Yumiko's life on that.
She mentioned the community. She never said anything as advanced as the Commonwealth.
Which
I
means
don't
keeping
think.
us in good enough shape to talk.
Oh shit! Quick! Oh, okay. Are they not gonna notice that there's a giant hole in your side of the carriage?
Where are we going?
Walk.
Okay. Oh.
What are you gonna do to me?
What is this? Who are these people? Seriously, who are these people? They just strip search you for bites or whatever?
Let's start with your name.
28, 29. I could be 50. I don't know, man. I lost it a long time ago. Can you just tell me?
That's a very fair thing. That's a very fair point. Losing track of your own age. Yeah.
Where are you? Tell me why they're here.
Well, Eugene's here he's got a date, so there's that.
I wanna see her!
Oh, you son of a bitch.
You should have answered our question.
Oh, that's gonna bring back memories, and not good ones. Not good ones. Yeah, these are very not nice people. These are very not nice people. Oh, jeez. She's replaying that one moment in her mind. The one moment she screwed up.
What the? Ezekiel?
Ezekiel! The king! The king's here! King shit. King shit. That trauma's right there. That trauma's still there, just etched into her jaw.
Dickhead, nailed me over an old fracture.
Oh, the injury's still there too. The scar is literally still there.
No one is gonna hurt you anymore.
Damn fucking right.
Not while I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
People are assholes. Especially family.
Not all family.
Most families.
I love this. I love that they're actually bonding over how shitty people can actually be.
I'm sorry about before.
Is Ezekiel hiding?
The whole getup. I mean, we rolled up and it was just.
Oh, damn! Whoa! He came in swinging. How did he? Did he even leave the carriage? But he did just knock out one of theirs. That is not gonna be a good look. That is not gonna look good. Damn. Badass but reckless. Badass but reckless.
We're organized. You should let us help you. That's why you came, right?
They came to me, Stephanie. They did not expect,
You're actually very
you know,
helpful people who
old
like
ass
to help you look like
stormtroopers.
A bunch of scary action figures came to life. What happens after this?
All this is just standard protocol on mission-based assignments. We have paperwork to fill out for Christ's sake.
They have
Place we live
paperwork in the
is a good
apocalypse.
place. It's our job to keep the many,
Jesus.
many good people who live there safe. I'm so new that rifle isn't even loaded.
It's not loaded? No. What? Can people please stop hitting Princess, please?
No! Just listen! Worse! No! Just listen and do what we say!
Please.
That was her this whole time. Ezekiel.
Just do what they say.
Yeah, I said it. She's been imagining it this whole time. Yeah, I said it from her imagining Yumiko's voice. I said it from her imagining Yumiko's voice. She's been imagining it this whole time. The interview, being as disturbing as it was, might have been the only real thing. Oh, the gun won't fit through. Just keep it on the side. Just put it down to the side. No, you can't leave the group. They are your friends. No matter what your anxiety told you, they are your friends.
Don't be so hard on yourself.
Ezekiel.
This is new. Time waits for no one.
She's imagining again.
We
She's
start
imagining
dying the day
again.
we're born. You're good on your own.
I'm a goddamn superhero on my own.
So let's go. You wanna go?
No, be their superhero now. You've been your own superhero for so many years. Be their superhero now. They need that.
But they came back from me.
Imagine if the walkers had started talking during that too. Yeah.
I mean, there's the ADHD, the anxiety, the PTSD,
ADHD.
the depression, the crushing loneliness, and the active imagination that helps me cope with all of that. But like,
Yeah.
maybe that's the only sane response to an insane world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
What?
Oof.
Nothing.
Oh, it came out. Oh.
Splinter came out.
Oh, the splinter came out. Nice. Okay, great. No more infections then. So how did she get the splinter if there was no hole in the wall then?
Thanks.
The rifle?
Okay.
Just need to know you could play ball with us.
Great. Okay, watching him suit up does not make me comfortable. Watching him
So,
suit up doesn't make me
so when
comfortable.
can I see my friends?
I got it, let's go!
Wait!
Oh. That's the end of the... That was uncalled for. That was incredibly uncalled for. That was beyond uncalled. That is the epitome, the pinnacle of uncalled for. That's exactly what that is. Wow, yeah, this episode did yet again. Great job. Like, self-contained, so we didn't get Stephanie like I wanted at the beginning, but we got something even better. We got something potentially even better, and my god, I believe her name is Paula Lazzaro. Paula Lazzaro. Give me a second. I'm like 90% sure she's on Twitter. I am 90% sure she's on Twitter. Paula Lazzaro. Yeah, Paula Lazzaro. Juanita Princess Sanchez. Yeah, Paula Lazzaro. Okay. Shit. Paola did. She was beyond incredible this episode. This episode alone, like, just wow. I have no words. She did an amazing job, and I did like a fairly accurate job of actually calling out the plot twist like 10 minutes into the episode, like 10 minutes in, like calling out the plot twist, like nothing that she like she imagined basically everything. She imagined basically everything that she that there was actually like a gap in the wall where she could actually pull out the floorboard, the pull out the board from the wall, which she couldn't, and she only actually suffered a splinter. Which, I mean, I'm curious as to how that happened, because I think there was no hole in the wall for her to put her finger into. So I don't know if she actually really just kind of. I mean, I guess you still could do it, but I don't know if that, like, if that's actually as accurate as like reaching for a board that it seems secure already and then pulling it away and then still getting a splinter. But she still got it, or maybe, or did she hallucinate that too? Because even afterwards, I think we didn't. No, because even afterwards, like we didn't see her messing with the splinter until after she freed the guy, and that was after it was, revealed that even Ezekiel didn't escape. So, don't know if yeah, because I don't know, because even once it was revealed that it was actually just her, like even when she was at the fence, like there was no reference to the splinter whatsoever. So I don't know if maybe even the splinter was fake. Maybe she just like cut herself on the board, but was lucky enough to not get splinter. But then she remembered getting a splinter way back when and stuff like that. So I don't know, but yeah, either way, she had hallucinated everything. She had hallucinated hearing Yumiko, which that was my first kind of thing. Like no. Like that was my first kind of guess. Like, no view from Yumiko's side of things. No view from Yumiko's perspective. Just like just us having to believe that Princess was able to hear her voice and stuff like that. And I figured that, like, from time to time it would cut out, and then Princess would actually get more and more worried as time went on, and then she'd just keep calling out for her. But then eventually she'd get too quiet to hear and everything. So there was that, but that was fake. The Eugene stuff, like, there was no board in the side of the in the side of the carriage. Like the stuff with Eugene was fake. Accurate, but fake. Accurate as to how an interaction with him would go down, but still fake either way. And then the Ezekiel one, they got my hopes up with Ezekiel, because I literally thought Ezekiel being like, because he is badass now. I mean, he's been badass pretty much his entire run, but. That is exactly the kind of thing he would do, like breaking out of his own carriage and then finding his way over to someone else's carriage and then breaking in and having that stuff. And then even the reunion, I think that makes me worried. Like the reunion seemed so real, and yet it was all fake. And I think it, like, again, the way these interactions went is exactly, I think, it's basically a part of princess's kind of hallucination. So kind of makes me worried. Like, it's to, like, because part of the story, like, especially towards the end, was like, her debating should she go back for them, or like, is like this group worth going back for? Like, is this group worth sticking her skin out for, or sticking her neck out for, or even kind of sticking around for? Because I think her, like, the analysis into her past was just brutal. But also, like, since the outbreak, she hasn't really had anyone she's actually been able to stick with. No people that like people are assholes is pretty much her kind of evaluation of humanity before and after the outbreak. So finding people that she can safely stick with, and people she can confide in, and people she can actually have relationships with, has not been the easiest thing for her. So with this group, it's that question too. But yeah, I don't know. I think seeing that hurts even more, because it's like, I think, because then it definitely reinforces the fact that, like, had these interactions that actually been able to happen, it might not have gone exactly the same way. Like they all would have likely told her, like, get back in the train carriage and stay there. Like, there wouldn't have been any lengthy convos. And Ezekiel, I think, thinking about the characters, like, how they show up might be actually accurate to them, but also, like, it's just like it feels like it feels like the kind of some of them are like it feels like at least part of the interactions are kind of glorified because of how well, actually, I don't know, I think it feels fairly accurate. I think, like from what she already knows of them, I think she already feels like Ezekiel is the kind of kind of courageous and chipper and kind of like by your side kind of tag along that's there. And then Ezekiel and then Eugene is the one who's like, really kind of calculated and organized and really specific and really kind of similar to her, somewhat anxious about things going wrong, but he's mostly himself. And then Yumiko, we didn't even see Yumiko, just her voice, and then her being like, don't try and fight back, don't try and find your way out, just do as they say, just let's just hope we all make it out of it alive. So like some of those kinds of character interactions seemed accurate to how those characters actually are. But yeah, it was horrible. Just to find out at the end it was all fake, and it was really her actually going to town on that guy's face, and just leaving him a bloody mess and everything. But she's a fighter. She can fight. She can fight, and I think yeah, the exploration of Princess's psyche in this episode was so on point. Like mental health, I think it's mental health is not something that's very often explored in media at all. Like when it is, also it's I feel like it's also kind of like a finding shows that accurately or like at least educationally kind of portray mental health is kind of I feel like it's sometimes like finding a needle in a haystack, like because like there are some really bad portrayals and then there are some okay portrayals and then there are some really really good portrayals. So with this one, I feel like with this one it really nailed it on the head, and especially like showing like this one character who suffers from so much, and especially dealing with it in like a climate like the apocalypse, like being the only survivor, and especially like her having lived in like a city by herself, bar a few walkers that she dressed up just for the fun of it. She has what she has ADHD, PTSD, anxiety, crushing depression, and all these other things like all these other things that she has likely even had. Like I think that the PTSD could have easily come from being under the same roof as her stepfather and her mother for so long before the outbreak. Even that story of her actually, like not being able to sit at the dinner table because of her hand infection, and then her stepfather striking her, and then even her mother being like, if you can't eat here or if you can't eat there, then don't eat at all. Like just not having like a very good upbringing, like especially like having so few good memories with people that even the good memories kind of seem distant, and like they haven't really lasted long enough for her to let them dictate her future or anything like that. So she's had like very few kind of good people in her life, and especially I think even the first kind of the most recent. I mean, I don't know if it's most recent, but I think the first one we heard about in season 10 was actually her being told by that guy that you're hard to love. So like for one thing, being treated as lesser and being treated as kind of abusable by her parents, but then being told by other people that she's hard to love or that she's hard to kind of treat with the respect that she deserves is just. It's horrific. And then she develops stuff like ADHD and anxiety, and those things make sense even in this world. Like stuff like anxiety and depression would very very easily make sense. Like you're watching people die all around you, you're watching your loved ones die, you're having to kill the people you love because they get bitten and they turn, and then you're constantly worried about falling prey to the same fate. And then also then there's also like like either you live on your own and you have no bonds and no connections, you lose that kind of humanity, or you run into terrible person after terrible person after terrible, like you go through like a cycle of running into terrible people that you just can't trust, or people who betray that trust, and then that just ruins your kind of perspective on things, like all these different factors that come into actually resulting in these kinds of conditions. And for her, I think for her it started before the outbreak, but then the outbreak itself actually amplified it with like showing her what people are really like and stuff like that. So yeah, I think it's like a very interesting kind of show to actually kind of bring these into as well, because I think you don't really think much. I think well, I mean, I think you may well do, because I think it's not really like a topic that's easy to avoid. And I think I'd like to think we've actually had like especially I think trauma as a whole has been explored. I think I'd like to think in this show very very kind of extensively, like again like death, people losing each other, and people having to watch their kind of friends die. Like so like trauma as a whole, as a whole kind of spectrum has been explored, and some people power through it, some people don't, that's a thing. So with Princess, I feel like her traumas have resulted in some very very non-Walker, like her traumas have also stemmed from very very non-outbreak related kinds of incidents, and then they've led into stuff that's kind of kept her going and stuff, and like her coping mechanism seems very very accurate and applicable to like her like taking those steps in Spanish, and also naming I believe she was naming cities. I can't tell. I think some of them did sound like states. I'm pretty sure Boston is a city, and Colorado is a city. I'm pretty sure. Again, my kind of geography, my geography in general is pretty crap, but my American geography especially is also just kind of that much more crap. So I'm not too sure. I'm pretty sure Boston and Colorado, and I think she mentioned like Columbus too. I think those are cities. I think states, like states are like Kentucky and California and Texas. I'm pretty sure that's a state too. That's a state, right? I think so. I think so. Yeah. Let me actually look it up. Let me make sure that Boston is actually a city. Let me make sure Boston is a city. Boston city in Massachusetts. Yeah. So then Massachusetts would be. Boston is the capital and most populous city of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Okay. Yeah. No, I just saw Commonwealth and then just kind of thought immediately back to this. So yeah. So she has all these different coping mechanisms and all these tics and stuff, and then I think the hallucinations could also come into that, like her hallucinating human interaction with the people that she's also recently met. I feel like is a very accurate thing to do too, like her kind of wanting to turn to these people to know what to do, and especially because I think the one real thing that the one other real thing that happened was her actually kind of reaching for the guy's weapon the other night before they were locked up, and then Yumiko and then Yumiko being punished for it. So I feel like So I think that hallucination could have been her actually meant that her kind of subconsciously punishing herself too, like her seeing and her hearing Yumiko in pain and really weak and not knowing what happened, but then kind of her not knowing what happened because there was no way to actually contact her, so she hallucinated that. And the others, she just kind of hallucinated like being able to talk to them and seeing what they would do. And like I think with Eugene, there definitely came in that kind of idea and that mentality that that they can't risk ruining things with the Commonwealth more than they already have, and they can't risk giving off any more bad vibes in case they decide to execute them all, which at the end they probably try to do. And then Ezekiel, I think with Ezekiel came in that kind of hope of escape and hope of reunion and hope of kind of getting back together with the team and actually finding their way out of there and everything. So that, and then I think the interview must have happened. I think there's no way she would imagine that. There is no way she would imagine that, and especially like the reality was that like even after the Ezekiel thing was revealed to be fake, the reality was that she offered to actually answer the boss's questions and everything. So the interview was disturbing and fake. I don't know why the fuck they would need to strip search her and give her a shower and everything. That's just disturbing. That reminds me of the governor and Merle, kind of like the governor. Was it the governor? I think it was the governor. It was in that season, but I don't know if it was the governor and Merle. Like, cause then Glenn was there too. I think I'm pretty sure like they'd actually captured Glenn too. But I think I can't remember who questioned who. But I think it might have been Merle questioning Glenn, and then the governor questioning Maggie. But he made her strip as well and stuff like that. So just disturbing stuff all around. But yeah, I think seeing just what Princess, hearing what Princess's history was and how it had impacted her present and her future, or at least how it impacted her kind of present and her near past, just hit home even harder, and hit the kind of gravity of her situation and her kind of presence even harder. So there was that. But I mean, overall, I just kind of loved the way they explored that cat, the way they explored her without stigmatizing her too. It clearly showed that it's something that she's actually been struggling with for a long time, and it's something that she's had to kind of live with her whole life through no fault of her own. She's gone through traumas that have actually led to these conditions in her head and actually affecting her day-to-day life, and she's found different coping mechanisms, but it's made it no easier to live, and it's made it no easier to actually get by. And it's, again, just a freaking zombie apocalypse does not help anyone with ADHD or PTSD or anxiety or depression. If anything, it can make things a lot worse for normal people, and I shouldn't say normal people, no, for anyone with or without these kinds of conditions. So yeah, so it's the way that, I think having this kind of topic in a self-contained episode too, it hits different. It hits different than it would in any other episode, because I think it just wouldn't work the same way either. I think having Princess be the kind of headliner of this episode and giving her that kind of development and that kind of screen time, it's honestly, it makes me love her even more, knowing how kind of just who she is, what she's willing to do, and even by the end of it, she even actually went back being you know what, good people are rare, so when you find them, you have to cherish them, you have to actually fight for them, you have to, sure, good people can turn out to be bad in the end, but you literally won't know unless you give them a chance. And it's like, these people, also the fact that these people haven't actually, haven't actually, like, they've been annoyed with her because of the minefield. Like, that stuff is understandable, but at the same time, it's like, like they haven't given her a reason to not trust them, and the Commonwealth are miles more suspicious than this group is. So I think that it's like a more kind of positive reinforcement, if that term is even applicable here, on her side. But I just love that they gave her that kind of screen time and showed that she is still someone who actually cares about people, and she cares about people in a way that she wants them to be good, and she's willing to give them that chance. And I think the hallucinations could have helped, because I think she hallucinated Ezekiel literally coming by and saving her and teaming up with her and actually helping her as well. So that was just great. Like the screen time, the story for this episode, like them giving Princess and Paola the kind of the spotlight for this episode too. It was just so well done. It was so well done. And again, I honestly can't wait for more Princess. I cannot wait for more. We had an entire episode, and I still need more. I still need more Princess content. Princess needs to be protected. Princess must be protected. She needs friends. She needs people. She needs people to show her that they love her. She needs this group to show her that they love her and that they will protect her and stuff. And Princess is amazing. Princess is amazing. And also in relation to her anxiety too, I think one thing that felt incredibly relatable was her replaying that one moment in her head the entire time, like that moment where she actually tries to go for the weapon, fails, and then Yumiko is surprised. Like for her in that moment, that is her scope. Like that's it's one of the few real things that happen in this episode. And then it's also like, it's just a matter of like, it's like her anxiety leading her to kind of replay the moment she screwed up and potentially screw things up for everyone else. Because, like, again, she has no way of actually contacting the others or getting through to the others, and like that also makes you think, like, the entire time she's just been trapped. I think for the most part she's been trapped in that episode. She's actually been, trapped in the episode, trapped in that kind of cage. Because again, like, I think there was I don't think that there was no there was no thingy. There was no actual door in the side. So that, like, she was pretty much trapped in that train carriage for the entire episode, just walking around, and then in her head, envisioning herself being able to leave and talk and being rescued by Ezekiel and everything. So like the entire time she was trapped in there. So then, like, like different coping mechanisms come into play, but then different traumas and different kind of more like negative vibes come into head. Like more negativity kind of plays on repeat with her remembering what she did, what that could mean for the rest of the group, what that could mean for Yumiko. And then she actually tries to kind of alleviate that kind of pressure and that kind of stress by actually imagining her being able to talk to her friends and everything like that. That stuff, like, when you think about it, it's just that it's actually really, really fucking powerful. But Jesus, it just makes you think, and it just makes you kind of just kind of wonder, like, what it would like to be in those kinds of shoes and actually have to go through all of this while also being, and I think claustrophobia definitely has to be like a thing. I don't know if she mentioned claustrophobia and like among the list of her other conditions, but I think it would definitely make sense being in half of it at least taking place the night before when she was trapped there, and also then like it being dark and a fairly small train carriage and not having anything else. But I don't know, that stuff was just really great too. That stuff was really well done. And then the Commonwealth. So the Commonwealth, yes, like that interview thing was real. That interview thing was definitely real. So that just kind of like, I think these guys just like, I don't even know how to describe them. Look, whether or not they're good people is debatable, even by that ending, whether or not because they had the other three lined up for like an execution with bags over their heads, and then they even put a bag over Princess's head, and there were definitely armed guards surrounding them and ready for an execution. So whether or not they're good people is debatable. They're definitely not nice people, because they did like a completely unnecessary kind of strip search for whatever, whether it was bites or weapons. I don't know how you'd store weapons under your clothes, but like they did like a strip search for whatever reason. So there was that, and then even the way they asked the questions, like they were like not even like passive aggressive, but also just like completely aggressive and completely like very, very confrontational and very, very kind of like, oh, I asked the questions, you answered, and that's how this works. Like not even treating her like like an innocent person, but just like actively assuming she's done something wrong just by walking in here. and stuff like that. So like bureaucracy, but angry, bureaucracy, but very, 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 very angry. And then even reigniting that trauma by hitting her on the I don't know what it is with this episode and people hitting, people hitting Princess and she even has the I think she actually mentioned she has the hairline fracture or something on her jaw, so she still not only does she have the mental trauma of being struck by her stepfather, but she still has the physical scar to prove it happened, and also to kind of for that to stay behind as like a weak spot, or like as a reminder of how she was treated way back then. And even now, just people still going straight for the jaw, so I mean, it's tough to watch with or without the scars, but it also just goes to reinforce that she has those traumas, and it doesn't make it easier. And even her fighting back, like, no one will ever hurt me ever again. Like as soon as Ezekiel said that, I was actually, because I mean, when Ezekiel started fighting back, I thought, okay, this is pretty aggressive. It feels fairly aggressive even for him. But then when even when he said, like, oh, no one will hurt me ever again, that's when I figured, like, him, like, is there meant to be some other kind of, aggressive or negative character interaction that I'm meant to be remembering? But then the footage, like the thing glitched in and out of her being in Ezekiel's position, her being covered in blood. So I was like, oh wow, and then the reveal happens that it's actually been her like imagining things the entire time. And nothing, and like she's not really, she's not seen anyone else. She hasn't seen anyone else. She hasn't heard from anyone else. It's just been her in her carriage, just kind of hallucinating all these things to cope with the crushing trauma of like not knowing what's really going on, and not knowing what's happened, and not being able to leave the carriage and everything. So, yeah. But I think I don't know. I mean, I was gonna say I'd like to think that all the stuff that security dude said about security and protocols and kind of and like diplomacy and cooperation, like I'd like to say that was all true. But then at the very end, like that reveal of them having bags over their head, I mean, they had guns, so I instinctively thought, oh, it must be some kind of like execution, and they even put a bag over her head, and the way they had them lined up too, I can't remember if they actually had like guns pointed at their head though, so because like they could have been lined up just to reunite them. And I think also, like, I mean, and again, I know this is me giving them a lot of benefit of the doubt, but again, I'm just exploring all the different possibilities of what could happen. So I think I feel like it could also be like, maybe the city isn't really anywhere near here, so this is like an outpost they have, or like somewhere that they've, like maybe like an outpost near the city, so then if they come across people actually finding their outpost, then they actually have to, imprison them and capture them and interrogate them and see what's what. So then once they actually decide to take the people to the city, because then the same thing could have easily happened with the others minus the hallucinations, so they interrogated them all and found similar-ish kind of answers and everything. So if that's the case, then maybe they actually master like put bags over their heads and then transport them into the city to actually meet with whoever the actual boss is, and then and then they learn what's actually happening. So then season 11 comes, we might actually get that. But I think again, like, it makes it doesn't make it any easier to actually trust that guy's statement that, oh, he's like, not only is he just a security guard who doesn't really have any intel, but also this is just the way that they do things. This is protocol and stuff. So yeah, I have no clue. But I mean, I think he even kind of emphasized that, the fact that like he's part of a community that still has stuff like this. He's like, they still have food, they still have like people, they still have like guns and ammo and like like resources that would be scarce anywhere else, like resources that you'd have to actively scavenge for anyone else. I mean, the chances are that like these guys still have to do their scavenging, but they know how to preserve accordingly. They know how to allocate things accordingly. Like they still know how to run a society in a world that in a world where the rest of society has actually fallen. So, and they had all this body armor too. This stuff. This also, I mean, I know it's funny to joke about it being like bootleg or low rent like stormtrooper armor, but it also seems like this also seems like fairly kind of custom made stuff too. Like it doesn't seem like anything you'd find in your natural kind of costume shop or like a nearby Comic-Con center or something. Like it actually seems like something they've actually managed to put together for themselves. And also armor itself might be on like a limited supply, so they have to actually scavenge that for their armies and their patrol groups too. So, and even the guns they have, like now if the survivors that we know had to make a bayonet, to make a bayonet, then they literally have to get like a rifle and like duct tape and knife to the end of it. But these guys, it comes in built in. So I think there has to be some kind of like some kind of military background to this too. Like they have to have actual soldiers and maybe even people who actually worked in the U.S. Army, like or just any army from anywhere around the world. Actually a part of their thing too, because I think I think you know. Because like the extent can't just be that they're actually a functioning society, but they also have functioning aspects of society too. So they actually have people who were doctors being medics. They actually have people who were law enforcement or military being a part of their armies and a part of their patrol groups, and people being on guard. They might have. I mean, they might even have actual politicians or policymakers actually being people who who actually run the society and decide what happens and when it happens. Like all these different parts. I think it can't just be the extent of, oh, we have a society and we have money. Like it has to be like they're that organized that they actually allocate people with necessary experience into different roles. So that kind of stuff I want to see explored in season 11. That kind of stuff I actually want to see just how societal and just how kind of old world are they, like how advanced are they? I mean, because and I think it's crazy to think that like what we have now would be considered advanced in a society like this, but that's the kind of thing I want to see them actually exploring and like seeing, like, are they good, are they bad, are they neutral, are they like a all for themselves kind of group, or what is it? And then we have the Reapers coming in on Maggie's end too. They're like like that one guy was like very, very military with his own gun and camouflage and everything. So different different aspects of different kind of survivor types and everything. So there's that. But yeah, other than that, it was great. It was absolutely great. So yeah, going into season 11, we will hopefully see what happens to the group. Hopefully, I think I'm counting on them not being dead. I'm thinking like I'm gonna try and be open minded and optimistic about this. I'm thinking like where they're at now might just be an outpost and they need to be transported to the actual main city, and for that they need to be blindfolded and covered up and everything so they can't tell where they're going. But I think I think it also just wouldn't make sense to actually kill them off so soon, or to actually or to even open up with them being killed off. It just doesn't feel right to me. So I'm gonna remain optimistic about that, but hopefully we get them back soon into the opening of season 11, so that'll be fun to see. And then hopefully we get to explore a fair amount of the Commonwealth and see who they really are, what they're like, and how well they function and everything like that. So yeah, but again, this was such a great episode. This was a really great episode. So hats off to Paola Lorazzo. I'm gonna check Twitter again. I really want to avoid mispronouncing her name. So I'm gonna check Twitter again. She's on Twitter. I'm gonna just need to make sure. Paola Lazzaro. Okay, Paola Lazzaro, hats off to her. She did such a fantastic job this episode with the character of Princess, so I can't wait to see how much more great Princess content she actually gives us, and how much more she further develops Princess's story into season 11. This episode was great. The spotlight was on her and she nailed it. She grabbed that spotlight and made it hers, so hats off to her. So yeah, I mean, and I think even in spite of them, even despite it being hallucinations in the story, like hats off to the other actors as well for pulling off their jobs and stuff. So like Carrie Payton, I believe he's as cheerfree and as amazing and as majestic as himself as he is as Ezekiel. So that I'm kind of trusting that. But yeah, hats off to Paola. So yeah, great episode. So let me know what you guys thought in the comments. Let me know what your thoughts are, what you thought of I was going to say Paola, Princess's kind of history and her exploration and her time in this episode and her kind of development. Let me know what you thought of that and what you think might happen with this group in the Commonwealth and what you're looking forward to in season 11. And I will see you guys in the next one, in episode 21. I don't know how many of these episodes we actually get. I don't know if it's like, I don't even know how many we've already gotten, like 3 or 4 at this point, so it's been like a fair amount. So I don't know if the next one is the last one or if we actually have like a couple more to go before we head into season 11, but either way, we will see, and I'll be reacting to each and every one of them, so that'll be fun. But yeah, that was The Walking Dead, season 10, episode 20. So as always, thank you guys so much for being here and for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then salt and burn that like button. Comment on what you thought of the episode and what you think is coming up next time on The Walking Dead. Once again, if you guys want to catch the full-length reaction, that one is going to be available over on Patreon, so you can see that one over there. And yeah, that is it. So, I will see you guys next time.